So there's that part. And then when you're talking about Diddy, you have all the other stuff that we've been hearing for years. Plus,
Puff beat up till she got up under the, beat up literally till she tried to run up under the car.
Wow.
Y'all won't believe the absolute chaos unfolding in the celebrity world right now. The drama surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and his family has become the most jaw-dropping scandal we've seen in years. It's honestly heartbreaking to watch someone who was once the definition of success, a music mogul, a cultural icon, now finding himself in the middle of this horrifying storm of allegations. And trust me, it gets worse. His sons Christian and Justin Combs are now caught up in this mess too. The whole thing feels like something out of a Hollywood thriller, except it's happening right before our eyes. I'm still in shock as I watch this powerful family's empire literally crumbling apart.
Says that he had his son bring girls over to the parties, usually underage girls.
Now, let me spill the tea about Diddy's sons because this story just keeps getting more disturbing by the minute. The accusations against them, they're absolutely devastating, especially for the Combs dynasty. Let's talk about Christian. You might know him as King Combs. And honestly, what I'm about to tell you is deeply troubling. During what should have been a peaceful yacht party in 2022, a stewardess named Grace came forward with allegations that are they're difficult to even discuss. According to Grace, this luxurious family excursion turned into an absolute nightmare. She claims Christian's behavior was completely unacceptable, allegedly cornering her in a private room and creating this horribly uncomfortable situation. The details are honestly making my skin crawl. And while Christian denies everything, darling, the damage to his reputation, it's done. And here's the thing that really gets me. This isn't just one person's word against another. No. It's part of this shocking pattern that keeps emerging about how the Combs family allegedly treats people around them.
Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued like we talked about prior to.
And don't even get me started on Justin Combs, Diddy's eldest. The stories coming out about him are absolutely wild. Picture this: Los Angeles' most exclusive luxury properties, the kind most of us can only dream about, and Justin's apparently become persona non grata among high-end brokers. Why? Because he allegedly leaves absolute destruction in his wake. Can you believe it? These brokers are saying he'd promised these intimate, sophisticated gatherings only to have hundreds, yes, hundreds, of people show up, turning these million-dollar homes into complete disaster zones. I mean, compared to what's being said about his father, this might seem tame, but honey, it paints such a clear picture of a family that apparently thinks they're above all rules and boundaries.
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Now here's where things get seriously dark. The allegations against Christian and Justin, they're just the tip of this devastating iceberg when you look at the catastrophic legal troubles their father is facing. The accusations against Diddy are absolutely earth-shattering. We're talking about claims of misconduct and exploitation that are dominating every headline. From allegations of using his immense power to manipulate and intimidate, I can barely wrap my head around it. His once brilliant image has been completely shattered. Even his most loyal supporters in the entertainment world are struggling to reconcile the Diddy they thought they knew with the man being described in these countless lawsuits. It's truly devastating to watch.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotape.
And let me tell you about the family drama that's unfolding behind closed doors. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Industry insiders are whispering about growing tensions within the Combs family, and what they're saying is shocking. Apparently, Christian and Justin are trying to distance themselves from their father's troubles. And can you blame them? But wait, it gets even more complicated. Some sources are claiming the sons are quietly pointing fingers at Diddy, hoping to save themselves by letting him take all the blame. I mean, can you imagine? This was supposed to be an unbreakable dynasty built on love and loyalty, but as these lawsuits keep piling up and the accusations get more and more damning, well, it just shows that even the strongest family bonds can be pushed past their breaking point.
Guys, we are lucky to have Precious Miura here, and she's been at the Diddy parties, and she's about to spill some secrets.
Let me tell you, darling, the cracks in this family's foundation have been showing for quite some time. Remember when Justin got arrested for that reckless driving incident earlier this year? That was just a preview of the chaos to come. His mother, Misa Hilton, didn't hold back. She took to social media and basically put Diddy on blast, suggesting he'd negatively influence their son. "The truth shall set you free," she wrote in this absolutely explosive post. Some people brushed it off as just a worried mother venting, but honey, now we know it was really a glimpse into the dysfunction hiding behind the Combs family's perfectly curated public image. Now, let's talk about Christian. He's been trying so hard to maintain this polished image, following in his father's footsteps as an artist and entertainer. Everyone saw him as the heir apparent to Diddy's empire, but these recent allegations? They've cast this massive dark cloud over his budding career. It's honestly devastating to watch. Someone who seemed destined for greatness now facing an uncertain future at best.
I mean, that fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, you know, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the...
And then there's Diddy himself, the man at the center of this unbelievable storm. It's almost unthinkable how far he's fallen. For years, he was absolutely untouchable, this larger-than-life figure who seemed to play by his own rules. But now, as more alleged victims step forward, we're seeing that even the most powerful figures can't escape accountability forever. These lawsuits and criminal charges aren't just threatening his personal freedom. They could completely demolish the empire he spent decades building. And let me tell you about the response from the celebrity community. Or should I say, the lack of response. It's deafening. While some are quietly distancing themselves, others are maintaining this very telling silence. The fact that high-profile figures who once called themselves Diddy's closest allies aren't speaking up, that speaks volumes about just how serious these allegations are. It's like the entire entertainment world is holding its breath, waiting to see how these legal proceedings unfold before picking a side.
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
The whispers about what's happening behind the scenes with the Combs family are absolutely wild. Can you believe some people are saying Diddy's relatives are already fighting over his assets? They're apparently positioning themselves for control, anticipating a potential conviction. And Diddy himself? Sources say he's desperately trying to broker some kind of deal to avoid the worst consequences of these charges. It's like watching a sophisticated game of chess, except it's filled with intrigue and betrayal, and honestly, it looks like it's only going to get more complicated as these legal battles continue.
And he is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, it is scary, because you think, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
The future of the Combs empire, it's hanging by a thread. This family that once seemed completely invincible is now desperately fighting to save whatever's left of their legacy. But with the odds stacked so heavily against them, with each new lawsuit and every fresh allegation, the cracks in their foundation just keep getting wider and wider. The question isn't just whether Diddy will face justice anymore. It's whether this family can possibly survive the fallout from these scandals. As these legal battles keep unfolding, one thing's crystal clear. The whole world is watching their every move. And just when you think this story couldn't possibly get any more explosive, well, there's always another shocking twist waiting around the corner.
If you say the wrong thing, or you complain, or I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or when they're constantly asking you, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
But here's what's truly sending shockwaves through Hollywood. These allegations aren't stopping with Diddy himself anymore. They're reaching into every corner of the entertainment industry. And the question everyone's asking is chilling. When someone as powerful as Sean Diddy Combs starts to fall, who else gets caught in the aftermath? The answer is absolutely staggering. Friends, colleagues, business partners, and even some of the biggest celebrities in the industry are being pulled into this web of scandal. As this story continues to unfold, it's becoming crystal clear that this isn't just about Diddy anymore. We're watching the exposure of an entire network of power, influence, and secrets that's been hiding in plain sight all along.
I don't know the consequences of what that could have been. So I didn't really talk about it. I should have gone to the police. I should have said something other than to my agent. I'm just thankful that there was somebody there. There was somebody at that party who helped me, because I could have ended up in a really bad situation.
Let's talk about the people who used to stand proudly beside Diddy at the height of his success. I'm talking about names that make headlines just by breathing. Jay-Z, Beyonce, even Will Smith have been whispered about in connection to this expanding scandal. Now, let me be clear. None of these A-listers have been directly accused of any wrongdoing, but their past associations with Diddy, they're raising eyebrows everywhere. These were the people at his infamous parties, the ones collaborating with him on major projects, the ones who couldn't stop praising him as this incredible trailblazer. But now, the silence from these same people is absolutely deafening. You have to wonder, are they distancing themselves because they're afraid of being dragged into this mess? Or is this just self-preservation in an industry where guilt by association can destroy careers overnight?
He was using, allegedly, these events to invite them back to these private mansion parties and hotel parties and God knows what else. But he was utilizing the branded events to be able to, get the girls to come over to his private spaces.
Take Jay-Z, for example. Once considered Diddy's equal in terms of influence and wealth, they were practically inseparable at events, collaborating on ventures that transformed the music industry. But now, Jay-Z is nowhere to be found in any discussions about Diddy. The whispers from insiders are fascinating. Some say he's privately expressing frustration about being linked to this controversy, while others suggest he's quietly cooperating with authorities to protect his own interests. And Beyonce? Oh my goodness, her carefully curated image leaves absolutely no room for controversy. She's completely removed herself from the conversation, and apparently, her team is working overtime to ensure her name stays far, far away from this narrative. The contrast between this silence and their usual public support for other causes is striking. You have to wonder, what do they know that we don't?
There is so many people involved in this situation that works the machine here. That, Diddy's obviously the head of the whole situation. The king of parties, but there is multiple other people involved that are helping along the situation or, participating in.
And darling, it's not just Diddy's fellow musicians under the microscope anymore. The whispers about his connections to Hollywood's elite are absolutely explosive, especially about actors like Will Smith allegedly being regulars at these private gatherings. A former attendee recently came forward with claims that these guest lists were packed with A-list actors, some of whom supposedly participated in the more secretive parts of these nights. Now, while these claims haven't been verified, they're adding so much fuel to this already blazing fire, making everyone question just how far Diddy's influence really reached. Will Smith? He's chosen to remain completely silent, but sources close to him hint that he's absolutely terrified about potentially being dragged into this scandal. And let's talk about the broader celebrity community. They're practically walking on eggshells. Stars like Rihanna, Drake, and even Justin Bieber, who've all had past connections with Diddy through collaborations or appearances at his events, are now desperately trying to distance themselves. Some are reportedly going as far as completely scrubbing their social media of any mention of him. Can you imagine? It's absolutely fascinating to watch how toxic his name has become in the industry, but it raises such disturbing questions. Were these stars truly oblivious to what was happening behind closed doors? Or did they simply look the other way to protect their own careers? What's absolutely riveting is how the FBI is apparently using this web of connections to build their case against Diddy. According to sources, investigators are reaching out to everyone who ever attended his parties or worked with him, encouraging them to come forward. It's a brilliant divide and conquer strategy, designed to create cracks in Diddy's inner circle and force people to speak out. And from what I'm hearing, it's working beautifully. Several former associates have reportedly agreed to cooperate with authorities, providing details that could be crucial in the case. Some are even suggesting that the FBI's ultimate goal isn't just Diddy. They might be using him as a stepping stone to uncover an even larger network of misconduct within the entertainment industry.
Basically what that means is the money that they're saying Diddy has to start paying this guy on October 1st, right. Diddy's team is like, hold on, we need an emergency conversation about why this should not have been granted. And they awarded him a TRO, which basically meant that Diddy's team was not allowed to sell any property in that state or anything related to what could be used to pay the plaintiff.
The pressure on the Combs family has reached a boiling point. Inside, sources reveal that relatives are turning against each other in desperate attempts to protect themselves. The fight over Diddy's assets has already begun, with siblings and extended family members positioning themselves for what seems inevitable. It's devastating to see how far they've fallen from their once united front. And these civil lawsuits, they're painting an increasingly disturbing picture of manipulation and destruction, raising serious questions about the entertainment industry's culture of silence.
These are all allegations that have become shockingly familiar against Diddy in recent months, as he has faced lawsuit after lawsuit from women and men who have accused him of all manner.
The business world isn't sparing Diddy either. His once flourishing empire is crumbling as major brands from fashion to spirits are quietly cutting ties. It's a stark reminder that even the most powerful can fall from grace. The uncomfortable question lingers: how many of these companies knew about these allegations before they became public? The public's response has been absolutely polarizing. While some applaud those coming forward, others question the accusers' motives, suggesting financial gain. But one thing's crystal clear: this scandal has forced a reckoning in the entertainment industry, exposing the darker side of fame and power.
Dawn had the choice to file the case as a Jane Doe, and she chose not to do that. After giving it a fair amount of thought, she wants accountability.
As these legal battles continue and allegations multiply, this story is far from over. The entertainment world is holding its breath, waiting to see how it unfolds. The stakes couldn't be higher for everyone caught in this web. It's not just about Diddy facing justice anymore. It's about whether the industry will finally confront its role in enabling such powerful figures. Because if this scandal has taught us anything, it's that no one, not even the most powerful moguls, is above accountability. So what do you think? Will the Combs family ever recover from this scandal? And who might be the next celebrity caught in this expanding web of controversy? Share your thoughts below. Hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this ongoing saga. Until next time, stay tuned and keep the conversation going.